The internet has been set ablaze. And this is no ordinary scandal. This is heartbreak. It's betrayal and raw emotion exploding in real time. Jim Jones, the man who built his name on loyalty, ride-door love, and 2 decades of standing side by side with Chrissy Lamon, has finally broken his silence. And the words that left his mouth weren't just statements, they were daggers. Chrissy's wedding reveal already left fans gasping, but Jim's response, it's being called the most gut-wrenching meltdown in hip-hop relationship history. 20 years of promises, proposals, public battles, then private reconciliations. And in one shocking twist, it was all shattered. Fans are saying 2 whole decades of Chrissy's life were wasted, and the man who once swore she was his forever is now crumbling in front of our eyes. When Chrissy stunned the world, walking into that reunion taping with a bombshell announcement, "I'm married," the silence that followed wasn't just silence, it was heartbreak televised in 4K. Jim froze, producers panicked, and the audience felt the kind of tension that makes your chest ache. And now, after days of rumors, leaks, and endless speculation, Jim has finally opened his mouth. What he said, what he revealed has turned this scandal into something far bigger than a reality TV moment. We're talking leaked voicemails, secret texts, industry betrayal, and a truth that threatens to burn everything down. Stick around because what I'm about to tell you will leave you shaking the moment. Chrissy Lamon walked onto that reunion stage and dropped the words, "I'm married." Time stopped. Fans weren't just watching reality TV anymore. They were watching 2 decades of love, sacrifice, and silence implode live on camera. Jim Jones didn't flinch, didn't blink, didn't move. His silence was louder than any curse word, louder than any fight, louder than any mic drop moment in love and hip-hop history. But what happened next? The leaks, the recordings, the betrayal that unfolded minute by minute turned this from a reunion into a global scandal. The first crack came from an anonymous Instagram account called @the_picked_industry_leaks. They dropped a voicemail allegedly from Jim recorded just hours after the taping. His voice was strained, almost breaking, as he told a friend, "She ain't even give me the chance. Bro, I had the ring. I had the whole plan. She ain't let me breathe." That 14-second clip spread faster than wildfire. Twitter users dissected every pause, every sigh, some even claiming you could hear the sound of glass clinking in the background. Was Jim drinking while leaving that message? Bloggers framed it as the sound of a man whose heart had finally cracked after 20 years of pressure. Fans couldn't stop replaying it, some crying in sympathy, others posting savage memes mocking his regret. Then came the text messages. Screenshots surfaced on the shade room supposedly between Jim and his mother, Mama Jones. "She should have waited," he wrote. "I was gone. Do it right this time." Mama Jones's alleged reply, "Jimmy, she waited long enough. 20 years. Boy, you can't expect her to keep sitting still." The exchange sent fans into a frenzy. Mama Jones siding with Chrissy, the same Mama Jones who once feuded with her on TV. If even she admitted Chrissy was justified, what did that say about how deep Jim's procrastination went? The internet split into armies. #JusticeForJim trended within hours, with fans insisting he was blindsided and set up. Others rallied under #Team Chrissy, claiming her patience had run out long ago. One viral tweet read, "Sis proposed to him in 2011. He had 13 years to match her energy. Don't cry now." Another countered, "He was about to do it. She robbed him of that chance." This is betrayal, not empowerment. The war of words was brutal, with fans posting throwbacks of every proposal, every dramatic fight, every tear-filled reconciliation. It was like the internet was collectively rewatching their entire relationship in real time, piecing together the evidence of who was right, who was wrong, and who had wasted whose life. But the biggest bombshell wasn't from fans, it came from backstage. A videographer hired for behind-the-scenes footage accidentally left his camera rolling during a confrontation. The video leaked to TikTok within 24 hours. In it, Jim is seen storming into Chrissy's dressing room, voice raised, security scrambling behind him. "So, you've just gone. Drop that on me. In front of everybody. No call. No warning. No nothing," he shouted. Chrissy, still in her glam chair, snapped back without hesitation. "Warning, Jimmy. I've been warning you for 20 years. You've just never listened. I was tired of begging you to choose me. I finally chose myself." The clip cut off abruptly, but it was enough to set social media ablaze. One side saw a man humiliated in public, robbed of his chance. The other saw a woman reclaiming her dignity after decades of disappointment. And then came the whisper that made everything even messier. Chrissy's new husband wasn't just some stranger. According to insiders, he was someone who had been around their circle for years. That rumor alone had fans combing through old photos, circling faces in the background, speculating about which longtime friend had become the new husband. Conspiracy threads piled up on Reddit, names started trending, and bloggers promised to reveal the truth. If the claims were accurate, this wasn't just heartbreak. This was betrayal from within their own circle. Meanwhile, Jim's silence stretched on. He posted nothing. No cryptic captions, no subtweets, not even a song lyric. For a man known to speak his mind, the silence was deafening. Fans speculated he was broken. Others claimed he was strategizing. And then finally, he appeared. Late at night, Jim went live on Instagram. The room was dim. His chains were off. His voice was heavy with defeat. Everybody talking like 20 years was wasted. Maybe it was. Maybe she should have left me a long time ago. But don't none of y'all tell me I ain't love her. I loved that woman every single day. I just ain't know how to show it the way she wanted. And now she's gone. The comments flew so fast they blurred. Some praised his honesty. Others mocked his timing. But before anyone could catch their breath, another leak dropped. Tasha K, infamous for dropping bombshells, released an alleged studio recording of Jim rapping lines that sounded like a confession. She wore white, I wore shame, 20 years. Nothing changed. I lost my queen. I lost my name. Whether it was an unreleased track or a freestyle, fans didn't care. They treated it like gospel. Some said it was the most vulnerable thing he'd ever created. Others accused him of turning his pain into a PR stunt. The reactions didn't stop with fans. Rashidita posted a cryptic Instagram story. Ladies, don't waste decades waiting for what you deserve. Today, Yandi went live telling her followers, this is why you set boundaries early. You can't wait forever for someone to realize your worth. Even Mama D chimed in, calling Chrissy's wedding the clapback of the century. Celebrities weren't just watching, they were fueling the fire. But just as the narrative started to settle, another curveball hit. A leaked email, allegedly from a VH1 producer, surfaced online. The email suggested Chrissy had informed production about her marriage weeks before filming, and the decision was made to withhold the information from Jim for maximum impact. One line from the email read, "This will be the moment that defines the season." Fans were stunned. This wasn't just a personal betrayal. It was a professional setup. Jim hadn't only been blindsided by Chrissy, he'd been ambushed by the very network that built his reality TV legacy. Boycott were suddenly being organized. Fans threatened to pull their viewership, demanding accountability from VH1. Others defended the network, saying Jim had profited from reality TV drama for years and was now simply on the receiving end. The debate raged on, and Jim's image hung in the balance. And just when everyone thought the storm couldn't get darker, Jim posted a black and white photo of him and Chrissy from 2007. The caption was simple, "Forever, my lady, even if forever ain't mine no more." That post racked up over 1 million likes in a single day. Fans flooded the comments with heartbreak, nostalgia, and fury. Some begged Chrissy to reconsider, others told Jim to finally let her go. But the whispers continued. Sources swore Jim wasn't done, that he was quietly preparing a tall interview where he'd reveal everything. Every fight, every betrayal, every secret that Chrissy thought would stay hidden. The rumor left fans holding their breath, waiting for the next shoe to drop. Would Jim finally reclaim control of the narrative? Or would this tell-all destroy him completely? The first chapter of this saga closed with a chilling thought. This wasn't just a breakup, this was the collapse of a love story that had defined reality TV for a generation. And the next move, Jim's move, could either rewrite history or end his legacy for good. Rewrite history or end his legacy for good. The fallout from Jim Jones's late-night Instagram live didn't just simmer, it detonated. The words he spoke, the tears he tried to hold back, and the silence that followed were enough to ignite a second wave of chaos across every corner of the internet. But it wasn't sympathy that spread this time, it was suspicion. Because just as Jimpathy that spread this time, it was suspicion. Because just as Jim tried to reclaim his truth, another set of leaks arrived that threatened to flip the entire story upside down. It started with a mysterious clip posted by an anonymous account called @VH1 Receipts. In the video, Jim could be heard in a heated phone call with the man fans quickly identified as one of his closest business partners. His voice was sharp, defensive. "Don't tell me she'd blindside me. I've been new. I just ain't want the cameras to know. Let her have her little moment." Those 19 seconds sparked a wildfire of questions. If Jim really knew about Chrissy's marriage beforehand, was his silence during the reunion shock or strategy? Fans split instantly. Some argued the call was fake. stitched together to embarrass him. Others swore the tone in his voice was unmistakable, proof that he wasn't blindsided. He was outplayed. "So, you mean to tell me?" One viral tweet read. "He knew, and he still let her break the internet. Now, that's performance art." Another countered, "Nah, he just saving face. That's what men do when they fumble." But the internet didn't have time to choose sides before the next blow landed. This time, it came in the form of leaked screenshots, allegedly from Chrissy's phone. They showed text exchanges between Chrissy and a mysterious contact labeled M. The messages were brief but damning. "Chrissy, he'll never change. I can't keep waiting. M, then let me give you the life you deserve. No waiting, no May. Just us. Chrissy, you already have." The screenshots spread like wildfire. Who is M? Theories flew. Some fans swore it was Marcus Bellamy, the celebrity architect Chrissy had allegedly been spotted with at events months prior. Others speculated it could be someone even closer to home. The lack of clarity only fueled the frenzy. For fans who had been holding on to the fairy tale of Chrissy and Jim, the idea that another man had been offering her everything Jim couldn't was too much to process. For those who cheered Chrissy's independence, it was confirmation that she had finally chosen herself and someone else. Jim's camp fired back within hours. A member of his entourage, speaking anonymously to a gossip blog, insisted the screenshots were fake, fabricated, and planted to make Jim look weak. But before the denial could gain traction, Tasha K doubled down, posting what she claimed was a voice note from Chrissy to a friend. In the recording, Chrissy's voice wavered as she said, "I didn't do this to hurt him. I did this to save myself. I gave that man 20 years and he gave me limbo. I needed someone who didn't just promise me a future but gave me one." The leak broke the internet. Fans flooded Twitter with heartbreak, admiration, and anger all at once. One viral thread read, "20 years wasted. No, 20 years invested in a man who never cashed out. She cut her losses." Another trended just as fast. "She could have left without humiliating him. This was revenge, not peace." And then came the most explosive revelation yet, a leaked email allegedly sent from Jim's lawyer to VH1 producers. In it, Jim's camp accused the network of deliberately manipulating the reunion to humiliate him, and threatened legal action for emotional distress and character sabotage. The email contained one chilling line: "If this footage airs unedited, you'll be responsible for the destruction of my client's legacy." VH1, of course, stayed silent. But insiders whispered that the network was scrambling behind the scenes, torn between protecting one of their biggest stars and milking the scandal for ratings gold. Meanwhile, Chrissy finally broke her silence, not with words, but with a picture. On Instagram, she posted a photo of her hand intertwined with her husband's, the wedding band sparkling under soft lighting. The caption was simple: "Peace looks good on me." Within minutes, the post had 500,000 likes. Fans flooded her comments with praise, support, and congratulations, but in the same breath, others filled her mentions with accusations of betrayal, disrespect, and cruelty toward Jim. And then, as if scripted by the universe itself, Jim responded, not directly, not publicly, but through another leak. A voice memo surfaced allegedly from Jim to Mama Jones where he vented, "She really left me, Ma. And the crazy thing, I thought I was about to surprise her with that ring. She ain't even let me get the words out." Mama Jones's response in the memo was raw, heartfelt, and brutal. "Jimmy, you had 20 years to get the words out. You don't get to cry about timing now." The internet erupted again. Mama Jones siding with Chrissy twice in 1 week. Fans couldn't believe it. The same woman who had once clashed with Chrissy on national TV was now her biggest defender. Memes flew, hashtags trended, and the narrative shifted once again. Jim wasn't just heartbroken. He was alone, but the betrayal ran deeper still. A former producer from Love and Hip Hop came forward with claims that Jim had been offered multiple opportunities to propose to Chrissy on camera with production, ready to cover the costs of grand lavish proposals. But he always refused. He wanted it on his terms, the producer claimed. Problem is, those terms never came. The revelation stung fans who had watched Chrissy beg, plead, and even get on one knee herself. For many, it was the final confirmation that Jim had wasted Chrissy's best years. Jim, however, wasn't finished. Late one night, he dropped a freestyle on SoundCloud titled "Forever Ain't Forever." The lyrics were sharp, bitter, and heartbreaking. "You said I do, I said I will. 20 years later, that promise still / you walked away. I lost the fight. Guess I was wrong not to do it right." The song shot to the top of trending topics within hours. Fans cried, dissected, and debated whether it was art or manipulation. But before the dust could settle, another twist hit. An insider leaked a blurry photo, allegedly of Jim leaving a private dinner with none other than Camila Joel Santana's wife and Chrissy's longtime frenemy. The image was grainy, the context unclear, but it was enough to send fans spiraling. Was Jim already moving on? Was this revenge, rebound, or pure coincidence? Neither Jim nor Camila addressed it. But the speculation was enough to fracture the internet all over again. As the week closed, the battlefield was clear. Chrissy had peace, Jim had pain, and the fans had front-row seats to the implosion of a 20-year saga. But the whispers grew louder, the leaks more relentless, and the stakes higher than ever. Because according to insiders, the biggest bombshell had yet to drop. One producer teased to a gossip blog, "You think you've seen the end? No. The biggest secret hasn't even been touched yet, and when it comes out, everyone's going to see this story differently." And just like that, the stage was set for the next explosion. Would Jim finally release the receipts he'd been threatening to drop? Would Chrissy's husband's identity be exposed once and for all? Or would VH1's manipulation scandal blow the lid off everything? Whatever the case, one thing was clear. This wasn't over. Not even close. The internet thought it had seen it all. The leaked voicemails, the screenshots, the freestyle. But the saga of Jim Jones and Chrissy Lamon wasn't winding down. It was building toward a crescendo that nobody was prepared for. Because when the final wave of leaks hit, they didn't just expose heartbreak, they threatened to dismantle reputations, friendships, and legacies that had been cemented in hip-hop culture for decades. The first blow of this final act landed through a blog called Harlem Truths, a small gossip site that somehow got their hands on a video nobody expected to see. The grainy footage, allegedly recorded in 1971 but stored in Chrissy's family archives, showed teenage Chrissy cradling a baby in Harlem. A handwritten caption on the VHS box read, "Jimmy never knew." The clip spread across Twitter within minutes. Was this real? Was Chrissy holding on to a secret child with Jim from decades ago? A secret child with Jim from decades ago. Within hours, Harlem Truths dropped another bomb. Scanned letters allegedly written by Chrissy to a confidant in the late 90s South. One line had fans gasping, "I keep waiting on him to be a man, but my child deserves more than broken promises." The letters reignited the theory that Chrissy had quietly raised a child while waiting for Jim to step up, hiding the truth to protect them from the public eye. Fans flooded timelines with speculation. If this child was real, was Jim the father? Was this the reason Chrissy finally walked away and married someone else? Jim broke his silence again. This time through a fiery Instagram live that peaked at over 150,000 viewers. Sitting in his studio, chains gleaming, eyes heavy with exhaustion, he snapped, "I don't know nothing about no secret kid. Y'all stop playing with my name. That woman been the love of my life, and she chose another man. That's it. Don't start rewriting history to make me look like a villain." His words were forceful, but fans weren't convinced. The timing, the silence, the footage, everything pointed to a deeper story. Then came the shocker of all shockers. Chrissy's child, now an adult, went live, their face blurred for privacy, voice slightly distorted, but the message was crystal clear. "I am Chrissy Lannon's child. I won't say who my father is. That's not important right now. What matters is my mother's peace. That's not important right now. What matters is my mother's peace. She deserves to be happy and she deserves to be free from the chains of her past." The broadcast broke the internet. Fans wept, screamed, argued. If Jim wasn't the father, then who was? And if he was, how could this secret have stayed buried for over 5 decades? As the public reeled, Harlem Truths struck again, releasing leaked emails allegedly between VH1 producers. The messages suggested that the network had known about Chrissy's child for years, but intentionally buried the storyline to protect ratings and preserve Jim's fan base. One producer even wrote, "If this ever gets out, we're finished." The revelations sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Fans called for a boycott of VH1, accusing them of exploiting and silencing black women's stories for profit. Celebrities weighed in. Rashidita tweeted, "These networks don't care about us. They only care about drama, never our truth." Cardi B went live saying, "This is why I hate the industry. They pick and choose what story benefits them and toss us aside." Even Yandy chimed in, "All I'll say is this, Chrissy deserves better. Period." Behind the scenes, Chrissy was reportedly devastated. Insiders claimed she never intended for her child to be dragged into the public eye. According to one source, she broke down in tears during a private call with a friend, saying, "This was never supposed to happen like this. I wanted peace, not headlines, but peace was impossible." The internet had smelled blood and they weren't letting go. Jim's camp, meanwhile, went on the defensive. His lawyers allegedly prepared statements demanding proof of paternity, pushing back against what they called a smear campaign designed to tarnish his name. Rumors swirled that Jim was considering a live DNA test on television to finally put the rumors to rest. Fans were split. Some begged him not to stoop to reality TV theatrics. Others demanded the spectacle. But just when it seemed the fire couldn't burn any hotter, Yandandi leaked another piece of the puzzle. On her Instagram story, she reposted an old clip from Love and Hip Hop showing Chrissy begging Jim to settle down and start a family. Yandy added a cryptic caption. She wasn't just asking for herself. The implication was devastating. Chrissy's pleas weren't about the future. They were about the child she was already raising in silence. The backlash against Jim intensified. Hashtags like #20 years wasted and #JimNews started trending. One viral thread read, "She gave him loyalty, love, and time. He gave her excuses. 20 years gone. She deserved better." Another countered, "If he really knew about this kid and still kept her waiting, he wasted more than her time. He wasted a whole life." And then came the final twist. A leaked audio recording, allegedly from a private phone call between Jim and Chrissy, dated just weeks before the reunion taping. In the clip, Jim's voice was raw, pleading, "Just don't do me like that on TV. Chris, you know what it'll look like. You know I ain't perfect, but I love you." Chrissy's reply was steady, cold, heartbreaking. "You love me in words, Cammy, never in actions. I can't live on potential anymore." The audio destroyed any remaining illusions. Fans flooded Chrissy's page with support, praising her courage for finally walking away. Jim's comments, however, were flooded with accusations of manipulation, wasted time, and emotional neglect. For the first time in his career, the Dipet legend was painted not as Harlem's hero, but as the villain of his own love story. VH1's silence only fueled the outrage. Fans demanded answers, threatening to boycott upcoming seasons unless the network addressed the leaks. Meanwhile, rumors swirled that Jim was in talks for a tell-all documentary to tell his side of the story. Whether it would save his reputation or bury it further was anyone's guess. Chrissy, however, seemed unbothered. Days after the chaos peaked, she posted a serene photo of herself on a beach, waves crashing behind her, her wedding ring glinting in the sunlight. The caption read, "Closure looks good on me." It was the final nail in the coffin. She wasn't looking back. She wasn't explaining, she was free. But the saga didn't end there. Late one night, fans spotted Jim outside a studio, hoodie up, head down. Paparazzi swore. He muttered under his breath, "Forever ain't forever." The photo went viral within minutes, sparking debates about whether Jim was preparing his comeback or collapsing under the weight of his past. And then the cliffhanger nobody expected. Harlem Truths teased one last leak. A single cryptic post-DNA results tomorrow. Stay tuned. The internet froze. If true, this could be the final answer to the question that had haunted fans for weeks. Was Jim Jones truly Chrissy Lannon's child's father? Or had 20 years been wasted chasing a dream that was never his to begin with? The stage was set for the ultimate reveal. The love story that defined reality TV for a generation wasn't just over, it was shattered, splintered, and rewritten in front of the entire world. And everyone knew the biggest explosion was still yet to come. And there you have it, family. The story we weren't supposed to hear. The truth VH1 tried to bury, and the receipts that refused to stay hidden. Jim Jones's silence shattered. Chrissy's piece revealed. A secret child's face blurred across the internet, and a DNA bombshell promised for tomorrow. This isn't just gossip. This is history rewriting itself in real time. And if you blink, you'll miss the moment. Everything changes. Ask yourself this. Did Chrissy waste 20 years waiting for a man who never showed up? Or did Jim waste 20 years pretending he had forever to get it right? And when that DNA test drops, when the final piece of the puzzle is revealed, who's going to walk away vindicated? And who's going to be left broken? Don't just scroll past this. Don't just watch in silence. Hit that like button right now if you believe Chrissy finally got her closure. Smash that subscribe button if you want to be here when the truth drops, because I promise you the next chapter will be louder, messier, and more shocking than anything we've seen so far. And drop your comments below. Team Jim, Team Chrissy, or Team Truth at all costs. Because one thing's for sure, the receipts are still coming. And when they hit, you'll want to be front row. Stay locked in. The story isn't over. It's only just beginning.